Chosen one, if you're hearing this right now, it's not by accident. This message was meant to find you today, at this exact moment, because what you've been carrying in silence is about to shift. The waiting season you've endured, the one that has tested every ounce of your faith, your strength, your sanity, it's coming to an end. And I need you to understand something before we go any further. This isn't motivational talk. This isn't positive thinking. This is a divine interruption, a spiritual announcement. And if your heart is beating faster right now, if something inside you just woke up, then you know this word is for you. You've been in a holding pattern, and it hasn't made sense. You've done everything right. You've prayed. You've worked. You've sacrificed. You've stayed faithful when others would have quit. You've kept your integrity when the world told you to compromise. And yet, the breakthrough didn't come. The door didn't open. The promise didn't manifest. And in the silence, in the stillness, in the endless waiting, something darker crept in. Doubt. Confusion. The whisper that maybe you heard wrong. Maybe you're not who you thought you were. Maybe this was all in your head. But let me tell you what's really been happening. While you were waiting, you were being prepared. While you were in the wilderness, you were being refined. While you were hidden, you were being protected. Because what's coming for you is so significant, so massive, so beyond anything you've imagined, that the old version of you could never carry it. The person you were a year ago, 2 years ago, couldn't handle what's about to be released into your life. The weight of it would have crushed you. The responsibility would have destroyed you. The visibility would have consumed you. So God removed you from the noise, isolated you from the crowd, stripped away the distractions. And in that isolation, in that uncomfortable silence, He rebuilt you from the inside out. He fortified your foundation. He strengthened your character. He deepened your discernment. He taught you how to stand alone, how to hear His voice above every other voice, how to trust Him when nothing around you makes sense. You thought you were being forgotten, but you were being fashioned. You thought you were being overlooked, but you were being overqualified. You thought the silence meant absence, but it meant preparation. And every single thing you went through, every betrayal, every disappointment, every closed door, every delayed answer, it was all strategic. It was all intentional. It was all necessary. Because the calling on your life requires a level of spiritual maturity that can only be forged in the fire. The assignment you're about to step into requires a level of inner strength that can only be built in isolation. The favor that's about to flood your life requires a level of humility that can only be cultivated in the valley. And you've been in that valley. You've been in that fire. You've been in that wilderness. And you survived. You didn't just survive. You grew. You evolved. You became someone different. Someone stronger. Someone wiser. Someone unshakable. And now the waiting season is ending. Not because the calendar turned, not because you finally figured it all out, but because the preparation is complete. The training is over. The testing has been passed. And heaven is ready to release what's been held in reserve for you. The opportunities that have your name on them. The connections that were divinely assigned to you. The breakthroughs that were timed for this exact moment. The doors that no man can shut. You're about to see movement in areas that have been stagnant for years. You're about to receive answers to prayers you stopped praying because you thought it was too late. You're about to walk into rooms you were locked out of. You're about to step into a level of favor that makes people question how it happened so fast. But it's not fast. It's right on time. It's the culmination of every tear you cried in secret. Every night you wrestled with doubt. Every morning you chose to get up and keep going even when everything in you wanted to quit. The enemy wanted that waiting season to break you. He wanted the isolation to make you bitter. He wanted the delays to make you doubt your identity. He wanted the silence to convince you that you weren't chosen, that you weren't called, that you weren't special. But you held on. And because you held on, because you refused to let go of what God spoke over your life, you're about to see the evidence. You're about to see the manifestation. You're about to see the vindication. Every person who doubted you will see it. Every door that closed on you will see it. Every opportunity that rejected you will see it. Not because you need their validation, but because God is about to publicly restore what was privately stolen. He's about to openly honor what you protected in secret. He's about to visibly elevate what you built in the hidden place. And I need you to prepare yourself. Not with anxiety, not with fear, but with expectation. Because this next chapter is going to move differently. It's going to feel different. The pace is going to accelerate. The favor is going to multiply. The doors are going to open in rapid succession. And you need to be ready to walk through them with confidence. Ready to receive what's coming without shrinking back. Ready to occupy the space that's been reserved for you. Your waiting season is ending, but your assignment is beginning. And everything you've been through has equipped you for what you're about to walk into. The pain taught you compassion. The betrayal taught you discernment. The isolation taught you how to stand. The silence taught you how to listen. And now, with all of that inside of you, you're ready. You're prepared. You're qualified. So lift your head, straighten your shoulders, wipe the tears, and get ready. Because your time has come. Your season has shifted, and the waiting is over. What you need to understand right now is that the shift happening in your life isn't just circumstantial. It's spiritual. It's dimensional. You're not just moving from one season to another. You're moving from one level of existence to an entirely different realm of operation. And that's why everything around you has felt so unstable lately. That's why relationships have been falling away. That's why certain environments suddenly feel suffocating. That's why you can't fit into spaces that used to feel like home. Because you're outgrowing them. You're evolving past them. And God is making room for what's next by removing what's expired. But here's what most people don't tell you about transition. It's violent. It's disorienting. It's painful. Because you're being pulled out of one reality and thrust into another. And there's no gentle way to do that. The caterpillar doesn't ease into becoming a butterfly. It dissolves. It breaks down completely. Everything it knew, everything it was, has to die before the transformation can happen. And that's where you've been. In the dissolving, in the breaking down, in the death of the old identity. And it's been excruciating. Because you're losing pieces of yourself that you thought were permanent. You're shedding layers you didn't even know you could live without. But what you're about to discover is that those pieces weren't you. They were survival mechanisms. They were coping strategies. They were versions of yourself that you created to navigate a season you were never meant to stay in. And now that the season is ending, those versions have to go. The people pleaser has to die. The one who shrinks to make others comfortable has to die. The one who apologizes for taking up space has to die. The one who doubts their own voice has to die. Because where you're going, you can't take those versions with you. Where you're going requires the fullness of who you are. The unfiltered, the unapologetic, the undiluted version of you that God created before the world told you who to be. And I know that's terrifying, because that version of you has been buried for so long. You've hidden it, protected it, kept it locked away because every time you let it out, someone made you feel like it was too much, too intense, too different, too bold. So you learned to dim it, to soften it, to make it palatable for people who were never supposed to understand you in the first place. But that ends now, because the people you're about to meet, the rooms you're about to enter, the assignments you're about to carry, they require the real you, the full voltage, the unedited version, and anything less than that will feel like betrayal to your own soul. This is why the isolation was necessary. This is why God removed the audience. Because you needed to remember who you are when no one is watching. You needed to reconnect with the version of yourself that exists independent of validation, independent of applause, independent of approval. You needed to find your voice in the silence, your strength in the solitude, your identity in the wilderness, and you did. You found it. And now you're carrying something that can't be shaken. A knowing, a certainty, a conviction that no matter what happens next, you know who you are and whose you are. But let me warn you about something. As you step into this new season, there will be resistance. Not just from external forces, but from within. Because your mind is still conditioned to the old season. It's still programmed for survival. It's still wired for scarcity. And when abundance starts showing up, when favor starts manifesting, when doors start opening, your mind is going to try to reject it. It's going to tell you that you don't deserve it, that it's too good to be true, that it won't last, that you're going to mess it up. And you need to recognize that voice for what it is. It's fear. It's the old programming. It's the residue of the wilderness trying to follow you into the promised land. And you have to make a decision right now. Are you going to let that voice dictate your future? Are you going to let the limitations of yesterday define the possibilities of tomorrow? Are you going to shrink back from what God is offering because it doesn't match the narrative you've been telling yourself? Or are you going to step forward in faith, even when it feels unfamiliar, even when it feels undeserved, even when it feels too big? Because the truth is, it is too big for you, but not for God in you. And that's the difference. You're not doing this alone. You're not carrying this by yourself. You're partnered with the divine. And what's impossible for you is inevitable for Him. So when the opportunities come, and they're coming, don't talk yourself out of them. Don't disqualify yourself. Don't let imposter syndrome steal what's been assigned to you, because you've been prepared for this. Every setback was setting you up. Every no was positioning you for a bigger yes. Every rejection was redirection towards something better. And now you're standing at the intersection of preparation and opportunity. And what you do next will determine the trajectory of the rest of your life. You can stay comfortable. You can stay small. You can stay in what's familiar. Or you can step into the unknown, into the uncomfortable, into the calling that's been chasing you your entire life. And I'm telling you, the discomfort of growth is nothing compared to the pain of regret. The fear of stepping out is nothing compared to the torment of knowing you were meant for more and you settled for less. Because you weren't created to blend in. You weren't created to play it safe. You weren't created to live a mediocre, forgettable status quo existence. You were created to disrupt, to innovate, to lead, to build, to create, to impact. And the world needs what you carry. Even if you don't feel ready, even if you don't feel qualified, even if you don't feel worthy. And here's the secret they don't tell you. No one feels ready. No one feels qualified. No one feels worthy. Every single person who ever did anything significant felt the exact same fear you're feeling right now. The only difference is they moved anyway. They said yes anyway. They stepped out anyway. And in the stepping, they discovered that the grace was already there. The provision was already there. The strength was already there. They just couldn't see it until they moved. So move. Even if it's just one step. Even if it's just one decision. Even if it's just one act of obedience. Because momentum is built in motion. Clarity comes in action. Faith is activated in the doing. And you've been sitting still long enough. You've been waiting long enough. You've been preparing long enough. Now it's time to walk. Time to build. Time to create. Time to execute. Time to become who you've been called to be. And as you step forward, you're going to notice something. The people who were supposed to be with you will rise with you. The ones who are aligned with your destiny will accelerate alongside you. But the ones who were only there for the old season will fall away. And you have to let them. You have to release them with love and keep moving. Because God is making room. He's clearing the clutter. He's removing the distractions. He's creating space for the right connections, the divine appointments, the relationships that will fuel your purpose instead of drain your energy. Your waiting season is ending, but your responsibility is increasing. Your influence is expanding. Your impact is multiplying. And you're ready for it. You've been made ready. Everything you are, everything you've overcome, everything you've survived, it all matters, it all counts, and it's all about to make sense.